Who are we? I mean, really? Once you strip away the name, the job, the body, what's left? It's a question that has haunted and inspired people for thousands of years. Today, we're going to take a journey to find the answer. But we're not looking out at the stars, we're turning our gaze inward, guided by some incredibly old wisdom to try and find the self.
So let's picture the scene. It's a classic one, something that's probably happened millions of times throughout history. You have a student, a seeker, sitting before a master, a sage. And the seeker isn't asking about how to get rich or famous. No, the questions are much, much deeper. They're about the very force that allows us to experience life itself.
The seeker's question is actually pretty simple on the surface, but man, it just cuts right to the heart of what it means to be alive. They want to know about that invisible power, the silent director behind the whole show of our lives.
First up, the mind. What is it that gets our thoughts going? What pushes the mind to chase after this idea or that desire? Where does our whole inner world even come from?
And then, what about life itself? The absolute basics. What's the power that kicks off that very first breath and keeps us going, moment after moment, without us even trying? What is that energy?
And finally, perception. What's the actual force that directs our senses? What's the unseen thing connecting us to the entire world through our eyes and our ears? Okay, so the sage's answer here is it's a game changer. He doesn't point up to the sky or talk about some distant external god. Instead, he tells the seeker to look back at the tools themselves, our senses, and to find the source that lies behind them.
So the sage replies with this beautiful, almost poetic riddle. He's saying the reality you're looking for, it's not something your ear can hear. It's the very power that lets you hear in the first place. It's the consciousness that makes everything else work. It's the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind.
And he continues with this kind of rhythmic teaching. And just think about that for a second. We can use words to describe pretty much anything, right? But you can't use a word to describe the very source that words come from.
And it's the exact same thing with the mind. Your mind can think about a million different subjects, but it can't turn around and make itself the object of its own thought. The thinker just can't be thought.
And this right here, this is the core of it all. The ultimate reality isn't something you can perceive out there. It is the perceiver within. You're looking for the seer, not just another thing to be seen.
So the sage draws a really clear line in the sand. He's saying the divine isn't some statue or some entity out there that you pray to. No, it is the fundamental consciousness that is animating you. That awareness, right here, right now, that's the ultimate reality. That's Brahman.
This all leads us to one of the most just breathtaking ideas in all of human history. Because if that ultimate reality is already inside of us, well, what does that say about how we're connected to, well, everything?
And here it is, the great revelation. The small reflects the big. The microcosm mirrors the macrocosm. The entire universe, with all of its stars and galaxies and mysteries, is reflected right inside of you. The sages said this wasn't just a nice poem, it's the literal truth. The same awareness lighting up the cosmos is the awareness looking out of your eyes. You're not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop.
To really get this, there are two key ideas. First, there's Atman. That's the name for that individual consciousness, that silent, aware presence inside you. Then there's Brahman. That's the universal consciousness, the fabric of everything. And here's the kicker. The ultimate teaching is that Atman is Brahman. They aren't two separate things. Your deepest, innermost self is the self of the entire universe.
So, you might be wondering, okay, if this is who I really am, why isn't it totally obvious all the time? Well, that's because it presents us with this amazing little paradox. This truth can't be known in the way we usually know things.
Even the sage admits that our usual tools just aren't up to the job. The self isn't an object the eye can see or a concept words can describe. Even the mind can't fully wrap its head around it. It's the subject, the very ground of our being. So how on earth do you teach something that's beyond all concepts?
This is the paradox in action. The second you approach the self like it's a piece of information and you think, aha, I've got it, I know it, you've completely missed it. Because the I that's claiming to know it is the ego, and that's what's in the way. Real understanding comes from humility, from realizing the self can't be put in a box by your mind. It's the person who says, I don't know, who's open to the mystery, that's actually getting closer to the truth.
So really, this whole journey isn't about collecting more facts or becoming a spiritual brainiac. It's about a total transformation of who you are. You can't know the self, you can only be the self. It's a shift from just thinking about it to directly, truly living it.
So what's the ultimate payoff for this realization? I mean, where does this all lead? Well, it fundamentally changes our relationship with the two biggest things there are, life and death. The promise here is it's incredible. By realizing that your true identity is this single universal consciousness that's shining through every living thing, you go beyond the limits of your individual body and mind. You realize your real nature is timeless. It's immortal.
Let's bring this right home. Make it really personal. This ancient teaching is a direct message for you, right now. You are not this body that was born and will one day die. You are the timeless, infinite awareness in which your entire life and everything else appears and disappears.
And so, we're going to end right where we started, with a question. But this time, it's not for the sage. It's for you. This inner journey doesn't stop here. It's just beginning. What is the self? The silent, deathless consciousness that is looking out through your eyes at this very moment.